Welcome. Welcome to the space. I would love for you to check in, Miss Jai. What do you speak about that changes the world? And why did you choose Speaking for Profit University as the place to grow your business?
Yeah, thank you. And hi, everyone. I'm seeing highs in the chat, so it's good to see you. I help healthcare and public health organizations learn how to better serve trans and non-binary people. And really, the reason that I selected this as my speaking, I do a lot of training and technical assistance and trying to help get folks to a place of better understanding how to serve our communities. And I started doing this really out of a necessity for survival. Because I am trans and my family is trans and my siblings are trans and my community is trans and non-binary. And so frequently we are unable to get our health needs met because of barriers at the healthcare level or barriers at the public health level for prevention and treatment initiatives. And my background is in public health. And I said, this is what I want to do. And so I was working in a number of public health and healthcare agencies, and I was always doing trans work as an additional duty. And I said, I'm not doing it as an additional duty anymore. I'm doing it as my primary mission and my primary purpose in my life.
Opulence Abundance. What do you speak about that changes the world? And why did you choose Speaking for Profit University as your home?
Love this question. And hello, everyone. So I work with individual and groups to navigate conflicts in new ways so that people can break patterns, harness their power, and change the world. And this work just really brings me a lot of joy. I chose Speaking for Profit, quite frankly, well, one, because I was a part of the beta group with Zami, such a joy to meet Zami. And I remember just looking at Evolve, seeing how moisturized they were, they were just glowing. And I was like, I think I need to follow this energy. Wherever this person is going, I want to go too. And I have never regretted that choice.
I want to talk a little bit about money. And I don't want to talk about the money you've made yet, but I do want to talk about what are the ways that you've grown in your money mindset since being, and Speaking for Profit.
When I think about my money mindset, when I think about my mindset in general around finances, I think about the history that I've had with money growing up as someone who was with two families who were traditionally poor, where we were struggling for food. We were challenged to just get our basic needs met. And then becoming an adult who was struggling in the same way, getting my degree, but then joining the nonprofit sector and not being able to afford food. So I was working full time and still accessing food banks just to get my basic nutritional needs met. And so I've always been really afraid of money. I've been afraid of making money. I've been afraid of losing money. And I think to some extent, I made living in poverty as something that is to be strived for. So I almost glorified poverty because it was something that I couldn't see myself getting out of. And it was the way that I coped and dealt with it.
So same question for you, Opulence Abundance. What work have you been doing around your money mindset, and how has S4P contributed and helped with that?
Such a good question. And I think I just want to start by saying, Ms. Jai, it's so interesting because as you're sharing, I'm like, oh yeah, there's so many moments where I'll still find myself in a little bit of a scarcity moment and a little bit of anxiety. You know what'll happen? My dad watches Fox News. So I'll visit my parents. I'll get a little of that in my brain. I'll hear the word recession. I'll get really anxious. I'll start questioning myself. I'm like, what am I even doing? And then I go to Speaking for Profit. And sometimes I have a whole plan. I'm like, I'm going to pivot. None of this conflict work anymore. I'm going to start doing, and everyone's like, wait, homie, slow down. Didn't you just secure the bag? I think there's a way where we can call each other back to our grounded selves.
I want to start off and just acknowledge you because I invited you to the space because you just secured your first keynote, which was extremely exciting. So kudos to you. And your first speaking engagement is actually a keynote. And I just want to ask you, one, how did that feel, right? And two, how did it feel to be supported by Speaking for Profit?
It still feels unreal, to be honest. It feels, but when I do think about it and when it seeps in, it feels great. It feels like more than what I expected to even accomplish coming this. Like my goal was like secure a speaking engagement, and I was thinking in my mind like, yeah, I'll go and speak at somebody's college or university at their conference or something like that. I didn't even have it on my list or as an option for a keynote. When I heard the word keynote, just in general, like learning about kind of what that's all about, I'm like, ooh, that's going to be like, step 2. Like, don't worry about that right now. Like that's for people that's been in the game for a minute. And so I just ruled it out. And I shouldn't have, but I just, that's just kind of how I felt in the moment.
Attention public speakers, coaches, and consultants. Ever dreamt of booking 5-figure speaking and consulting contracts? In just 5 days, I'm teaching my tried and tested system to elevate your speaking and consulting business. Forget the cold emails, bypass the salesy pitches. This challenge is about building genuine high-value connections. And here's a promise I have for you. With a commitment of just 1 to 2 hours a day for 5 days, you're going to witness transformative results. On day 1, you'll learn how to craft a business strategy without cold emails or paying to speak. Day 2 is all about you redefining your profile to attract decision makers ready to invest in your expertise. By day 3, you'll have your very own 5-figure sales system to turn contacts into clients. By day 4, we will have you automating your funnel with proven templates and scripts. And day 5, I'm going to teach you how to master the art of discovery calls with a step-by-step checklist and exclusive 5-figure sales secrets. Whether you're just stepping onto the speaking scene or you're a seasoned pro, this challenge is tailor-made for you. I'm going to teach you the exact strategies that have helped me help my clients make over $2 million in the last 2 years. The journey to a thriving 5-figure speaking and consulting business begins with this challenge. So are you ready to redefine your limits, accelerate your growth, and bask in the limelight of your success? I want you to join the 5 Days to 5-Figure Speaking Challenge now. Let's rewrite your success story together. Simply head over to speakingforprofit.com. You're going to click that button that says 5 Days to 5-Figure Speaking Gigs so you can get started with the challenge. Can't wait to see you there. Tell me a little bit about what your money bag prophecy was when you collected those bags, and how did you kind of come up with this stretch goal?
So my money bag prophecy, my money bag goal for myself was 200,000. And that was, we were sitting on a call, we were talking these through, and I was like, I'm going to make 120, which is what I needed to make in order to do my work full time and cover subscriptions and pay for my health insurance. Like that was the bare minimum. And I remember we were talking and you were like, why is that your prophecy? Like, why is your prophecy to be at the bare minimum of what you need? And so I was like, yeah, you're right. I also want to be able to like take rest time and not have to work 10 hours a day and all these other things. And so I put it at 200,000. And I thought that's an unrealistic goal, but why not? Like, let's try it. And then I had a lot of really amazing opportunities come through. I was encouraged to reach out to folks I had contracted with the previous year, and several of them wanted me to come on and contract this year. We worked together to help me maximize my LinkedIn and start reaching out to new folks. And through that, I've been able to connect with people in the healthcare community who are doing DEI work, but are missing the trans component and are needing support around that. And that has brought in contracts. And suddenly, before I knew it, I had secured over $200,000 in contracts. And I thought to myself, what does this mean for me now? Does this mean I rest? Does this mean I stop? What does it mean for me? And I looked at a couple of proposals I still had out, and I said, I'm going to expand my goal to 250. And at 250, I'm going to pass bags. I'm not going to take on additional work. I'm actually going to invest in my rest. And as of last week, I hit my $250,000 goal.
What you've made probably in the last 2 years, just from the community support, if you can think of that, an average. And then what strategy, if you had one that you would share about being a good community member that has allowed you to receive this abundance?
It's not just how much we make, right? It's not what we make, it's how we make it. And I'm someone that's always been like, okay, yeah, I want to make money, but I also need to rest. And I also have some blocks around social media. And what I will say for you, Evolve, as someone working with my stubborn Taurus self, is you always graciously meet me there. You're always like, absolutely. You don't want to do social media? You don't want to do LinkedIn? Sure, sure. How can we maximize what you're doing? And I definitely have to say, because when I think about a business, I think about how it grows. And I think that the support I've received from you and the Speaking for Profit space, eventually getting into social media, all this insight on social media strategy about how I need to create a space where people can hear my voice and trust me, it's just allowed my business to explode. So when I think about the Speaking for Profit space in the past couple of years, I'm just going to lift up a couple contracts that were life-changing for me. The first one being in January 2022, working with Speaking for Profit members and getting my first 10K bag that actually grew to be 17K for one contract that I did. For that 10K bag, I worked maybe 20 hours. And that was my first insight that, like, I can make big money, but it doesn't mean I have to burn myself out.
What's been your strategy around being able to stick to your price, especially when it came to this particular contract? And what is some advice that maybe you can give to other people who might be thinking about sliding sometimes and, you know, and not keeping that momentum going?
Honestly, kept me at my price is you. And you, and what I mean by that is, like, when I came in, I think we talked about, okay, you know, what do you think you might want to charge, or, you know, what's your pricing? And I was like, I don't know, $500. I don't know, just whatever I thought was standard in the industry or whatever, right? Or just like not charging too much so people say no. But you were like, hold on, no. No. First of all, you're not doing that. We need at least, I think you told me, you need to be charging at least $4,000. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. Who gonna give me that much? I just didn't believe it. And you helped me to believe it. You was like, no, and like you are worth so much more than that. Like, that's your minimum. I was like, dang, okay. So you held me accountable for that. And when I'm on the call, I got you in my brain, like, don't be going lower than what we talked about. So even when they come back with like a lower price, I'm like, I don't know. But also, so thank you for that. And, you know, I think the example that you set and just the belief that you have in me went a long way and goes a long way. And I appreciate that. So you helped me with that.
Thanks, y'all, for being here. I hope y'all have a good day. And until next time, peace.